Hi, Gaye DeRusso with the Majestic Rider. So today I'm going to show you an exercise on how to get your horse used to horses running around. So what I'm going to do is I have her tied up with a blocker ring so she's safe, so she can pull back if she needs to. I'm going to control the other horse and I'm going to set him loose in here and have him running all around behind her. Just so she gets used to everything. This is the gelding I'm going to use. They don't know each other, and we're just going to see how it goes. Need your horse used to loose horses? Well, of course, in case a horse got loose. Now, she might try to kick him if he's stupid. But if a horse gets loose, somebody falls off and a horse goes bolting away, wouldn't it be nice if you knew your horse was okay with that? Or you're going to do endurance ride, or you have other rides where people tend to pass you. You'd want to make sure that your horse doesn't care or has at least had some experience with it. So let me get him back here. So the mare, I already lunged and worked her some since this is her first time doing this to keep her quieter. But this one I didn't. But he has been out the past couple of days, so it's crazy. So we might use another one if I can't get him going enough. It's a good way too, if your mare kicks or something, that you let the other horses go around her, but you have a stick, and then you can get after her if she starts being nasty. You know, look back at that flirty video of the mares. That can help you as well. Not really being crazy at all. He's just cantering slow, and she's used to horses cantering by her. There we go. He's being a goofball. So she's a nice mare, so she didn't kick at him or anything, but she could have. I'm right behind her with the whip now too. So he's not doing much, so we're going to take a break and I'm going to get another horse. Okay, now I was able to get him running. You gotta be careful they don't run into the rope, so if he gets on that side of her and starts pushing her, I'll go to the other side. So you do got to be conscious of what you're doing and make sure that will pull back and give room if they need to in case they do something stupid. That's why I don't like tying it to anything that will break, because you don't want them to learn to pull back. You'd rather give them some movement that they can pull if they need to. I don't want to drive him right at her because you're trying to be safety conscious, even though you've got loose horses in here. This is a good way too. You could do this for buddy sour, you know, put the horse in there that they want to be with, and every time they go by it, chase it. So she's done pretty well with this the whole time. Now different horses have different energy, so they might react off of one more than the other. See him kind of coming towards her, so I'm blocking because I don't want him to run into her. But seeing your horse is doing this while he's running around being a goofball will give you much more confidence. Remember, you can do lots of stuff on the ground. You never have to be on them to do stuff like this. Okay, so when you do this, always have them tied up as short, only a foot of rope, because again, you don't want that other horse trying to run by the front of it. This is a younger horse, hopefully that will have some energy to assist him with. And then always have the whip in your hand before you let them go in case they run over to the other horse and you're trying to keep them away from it. Now, he pulled just a little on his rope, so you can see how long it is, and I'm going to make it a little bit shorter. These Aussie rings, you have to have a rope that has some slick to it so it will slide through that. If you have big fat cotton rope, it's not going to slide through there and it defeats the purpose, okay? So have it short, exercise the horse first. So I already ran him around, and now I'm going to start with the new horse running by him and see how it goes. And you can also do this to get horses used to each other because you're in control. Things can still happen, but at least you're here to try to separate them. Let's see if we can get him revved up. So that was good. He didn't move. In these exercises, you're trying to prepare yourself to be successful, not unsuccessful. That's why I ran that other horse around first. So his energy will be more down and be more tolerant since he's tired. Nothing. Spook him a little bit to see if I can get more energy going. I never chase him around corners like that because that's where they can get hurt. Now see, he's getting close to him, so I'm coming in between the middle. And this guy's friendly, so it's not a big deal, but you don't want the other horse to get kicked. So when you go to separate, and remember, you're trying to go in between them and be very conscious of which way the horse might run, so you don't have them start running into the other horse or running into the rope. This is good. He's a little crazy. He's just moving around, not bad. Now he's gonna come up to him again. Good. So this horse is smart. He figured out, hey, I'm not gonna go up to him because every time I do, she comes over and separates us. Again, running pretty good. He's okay. So again, your horse might pull back, it might rear up, especially if you didn't prepare it well and it hasn't been worked. You want to get them really tired before you try this to make it easier for them to figure out what they're supposed to be and help the horse be successful at it. Okay, so much is in preparation, right, buddy? And so many people don't prepare their horse correctly, and that's part of the biggest problem, besides gaited horses not having much training on them at all. Some do, some don't. So I'm going to see if I can get him to run. Yeah, he's a jumper. But he keeps running around him this way. I'm going to try to get it to run around him the other way. And to do that, I got to give him more space. They feel everything. So I'm going to stay more in the middle to let him come by that other horse. So again, we want him to go faster. Trotting by is a good place to start if your horse is really cuckoo and doesn't tolerate this well, or just walking by. But in the end, I want them galloping by because that's what might happen. These guys are stalled across from each other, but they've both been here less than a week. So they really don't know each other that well. So see him coming up? I'm coming right in between, like no, no, no. So I want to fire him up because I want this other horse getting used to it. And again, he might have not been that calm if I didn't exercise him first. But I think you get the idea. So then when I'm done with doing this horse, then I'm going to tie this beautiful red roan up. Here I come in the middle, like nope. I'm going to tie him up, and then I'm going to put my mare in here because he's new. We're trying to make him successful, and she won't be as crazy. So here I come in between them. Again, I want to stay far away because you know horses kick at each other. So that's why you want the long whip. Don't do this without a long lunge whip. And one that has a spanker on it, you know, that thing. Because that cracking makes a big difference when you need to separate them. Okay, let's try to get one last good one. All right, so see, he's getting tired. He's not galloping around anymore, so now it's time to switch. The thing that's important, if you're gonna put a tie ring on any of your post, you make sure it's cemented into the ground and that it's sturdy. You know, some of your posts like this, you wouldn't want to do it here. That's just going to fly off, and then the fence is going to chase the horse and freak it out. And you don't want to put it on any post that's not cemented like this, is wiggling. So you know, if the horse pulls back, that whole fence would break, the horse would freak out, and the horse would run with the fence, and then you just made him afraid of fences. So you're trying to be as careful as you can and make the horse as successful as you can. So I went around and checked all the post, and that's where I picked. That's a new post in cement, and it's very sturdy. It's a little lower than I'd like, but that's what I got. So pick sturdy things and do not tie them to planks like this, and do not tie them to gates, because a lot of people do that. Don't tie them to gates, especially this one's metal, so it would move and freak them out, but not as bad as like a wooden one or a stall gate. If you do that, they can pull it right off the hinges, break it, and then again you got a bigger problem. My mare in here, she wants to come over and visit him. I'm gonna send her away. Come on, Tilly. She does like to move horses around. Now I'm gonna tighten his rope just a little bit more. It doesn't seem long, but I don't want much space in here at all. Leave the rest of the rope, you'll kind of see it's by his feet loose so it can slide through. She's rolling, which is good because they always like to come up to her when she's rolling. And of course he can't, so this also teaches him like what to do with mares in case he doesn't know, or you know, sometimes horses were gelded late, so it's a good test because he's tied up, and again I can separate them if I need to. Here we go. So, and Tilly likes to be by her friends, so sometimes she'll just run around in circles. Hey, Tilly. Now he got a little upset there. Come on. But she's going to keep running past him. I just got to keep her a little bit away from him. And it might be that he doesn't like my whip, or it might be he doesn't like the running horse. But he's got to get used to both. So she normally, if I wasn't here, she would have just ran up to him, but I keep putting pressure on her when she gets close to him to get her away from him, because the whole exercise is not go up and be friendly with him, at least the purpose for me right now. It's run by and get this horse used to things running. So see, there I ran to get closer and get her out of there. See her pin her ears at him. She's like, don't come next to me. And he's like, I'm tied up. So let's see what he's doing. Good so far. Hey. So it seems to me he might be more upset about the whip than the horse running around. But this is supposed to be going to be an endurance horse, so this is good for him. Tilly, she likes to mess with them, so she's a good one for me to teach my sale horses how to behave around mares and not mess with them, because she will get after them, but I don't do that with clients' horses unless they wanted me to, because again there's always the risk they could get kicked. Let's make her go the other way. So when you're running them around, sometimes they'll only go one direction. You make them switch. Get them to use both sides of their body. Here I come. He's like, hey chickie, and she's like, my mama's coming, don't talk to me, she's watching. But overall, he started out a little goofy, and now he's doing pretty well with her running by him, making snotty faces. Tilly cracks me up. And again, even if you're like, I never ride with loose horses, great exercise to do. In case you ever go ride with BLM land and there's Mustangs, in case your friend falls off her horse, in case Tilly comes running over, giving snotty faces. This is game to them. You know, but people fall off all the time and the horse goes bolting away, and then how scared are you when that happens? Okay? But if you're like, oh, this is cool, my horse is used to this, I'm all right. The more you get your horse used to stuff, the better. Come on, Till. She's like, my mama's mean. But if you don't get them used to it, then whatever happens, happens. You'd be surprised with horses of all the things they'll accept and do for us, but you got to practice it. You got to put the time in. You got to teach them, and then they can do some amazing stuff. So if you ever go to a barn and you see the horses tied all along the poles, besides having them all tacked up and ready, they're getting used to standing, so they're teaching them patience. They're teaching the horses that when the other horses are running around in the arena, not to pay attention. You'll see it a lot more with the Western horses than the English. And the English people should do it, but they don't very much. And you'll see a lot of reiners, cow work and stuff. They got all the horses tied up, so they're used to that stuff. The horses are getting used to the cows. They're getting used to the horses running, spinning, doing all that stuff. And all the horses want to do is stand at that post and be quiet because they're tired and they know if they start acting up, they're going to get more work. So always tire them out first. And then again, if they're being bad, if he was crazy with her, I might take her out, run him around again, or lunge him for a long time, and then put him back in with her. But he did pretty well. He settled down after only a couple of times, and she's running out of energy, I can tell. See how much better she can canter? This is the horse that couldn't canter. Because she's so well gaited, and then she would pace if you go too fast. And she was older, she had a major problem learning how to canter. And to the right, this is her worst lead. There she's pacing a little bit and half cantering. She's not as good, but it's come a long way. Someday I'll make an updated video. But now she's more sure-footed. She goes over the poles well. She can jump. All those things you see me doing with them that you think, I don't need to do that with my horse. It just makes him a better horse. Why wouldn't you want a better horse? Okay, more sure-footed, more agile. One day with her, we're in Henry Cow, and it's got a lot of step downs. And she caught her foot on a rock when we were going down a step down. Not her fault, not being unsure-footed or anything. And we could have flipped over, and she caught herself and pushed us back up. And I was like, thank God for poles. Make a huge difference. But, you know, she's been doing them for years now, a couple of years. All right. So now what I'm going to do is tie Tilly up and set this horse loose. Now he's more quiet, so he won't be as crazy, but I want her to get practice too. So I'm going to use this young horse again because they have more energy. And if he won't do anything, then we'll pick another. Now he might run right up to her, so I got to protect him from her hindquarter. But this is good for all horses, and she's pretty good. But she, out of all of them, she's the most sensitive and might be the most goofy one with this exercise. And I have not done it before with her. She's high-spirited. She's the one who pawed and did all sorts of stuff. Great horse, but here we go. She might rear up or do something really goofy. Or she might make me a complete liar. She's like, I ain't doing anything on camera. I know what you're doing. Now, he got close, so I'm getting closer to her to protect her. So he doesn't go up her butt, and also to protect him. Hey! So see, she pulled on that, but she was okay. Once you know your horse, you know, some kick, some don't. You can prevent it when you're on them and you're around them, but when you know that stuff, you're always trying to keep the other horses safe. She's doing okay with him cantering around. Here we go again. You see that? She's like, I'm gonna kick you. She waited for me, but she's like, Gaye, you're a little slow. I don't know if that guy's gonna hump me. So she's doing good. The only thing she's afraid of is me with the whip when he comes over. So see her putting her butt as I'm running over here? Good girl. She's like, I'll help you, Mama. I'm going to get him away from us. Nice trot, huh? He supposedly has a racking gait. A lot of racking horses will trot. You have to ride them correctly to get their gait out of them. And then condition them so they can do it with a lower headset. So this is good. He's not galloping around anymore, but just trotting up behind her is a good thing. It's a good way if you get a new horse too. Like, what are they going to do? Is this, you know, a kicker or not, you don't know anything about it, you're going to go on a big group ride, why not test it like this? Nothing better than putting more training on your horse to make it a better horse. All right, so I guess you get the idea. Great exercise to do. Always do it safely. Always have a whip. Always make sure they can pull back on their ring if they need to, and protect both horses.